Commission review of a proposal to convert an existing light industrial building for live work, and you had some comments on that,
you got
right?
some plans in your packets, and the just briefly, the proposal is to convert an existing light industrial building at 6201 Doyle into 29 units of live work. The building is located at the corner of 62nd and Doyle, and as you know well from previously tonight, there is a 1.5 space per unit parking requirement, which would put it roughly at 44 spaces. The preliminary plans show that 31 spaces are located on site, and the applicant has requested direction and comments from you regarding the ability to continue to use the Doyle Street frontage for perpendicular parking. It currently is in that use, even though exclusively for the use of the Live Work project, even though about half of the parking space technically is within the public right-of-way on Doyle and not within the applicant's property. So they are proposing to meet the parking requirement of 44 spaces with a 13-space perpendicular configuration along Doyle, and pretty much exclusively use that or mark it so that it would be for the exclusive use of the project itself.
Are those 13 spaces in the public right-of-way?
I'm good for an opinion.
Half of them are.
I'm good for an opinion. Yet.
Ditto.
Ditto.
So
No way, Jose.
okay.
Oh, what a mean bunch of people.
Well, I
Worked too long and too hard to get it to 1.5.
That's about it.
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
My name is Mary Flynn, and I'm MBH Architects on this project. We were told by Claudia and John Flores that we could come and discuss this as far as a study session on how we could possibly make this project come to fruition. As far as the parking requirement on this project, as you can see, the building takes up the majority of the site with the exception of the front. And the existing parking right now out there, I understand from talking to Claudia, they're going to expand the Doyle Street width of what's there with perpendicular parking. But we had also talked about in lieu fees or maybe some other alternative that we can maybe work with as far as units to parking ratio. Is there any hopes of that?
Well,
I think the in lieu fees are right, isn't it?
No, it's something
your
that you
discretion.
may, at your discretion, allow them to do.
well, what was presented to us was reserved parking in the public right-of-way, and that's unacceptable. That you're not going to get around that. I mean, that's.
Speak into the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, that was the issue that we were. That was the issue that we were talking about. Now, there are certainly other ways that you can work around that, as you saw with one of the other applicants, in terms of working. And there's ways to deal with it. But as far as allocating specific public right-of-way parking spots, that's just not going to happen.
Okay. And we had also discussed with Claudia the possibility, there's no possibility of an easement, or this is a 70-foot building to parking, or from the parking to the curb on the other side is approximately, well, it's over 60 feet right now. It's 70 feet from the building to the curb on the other side.
Well, my sense is, and unfortunately it's the hours late, and
Right.
you know, the thinking is, at least on my part, is probably a little fuzzy. But all I can tell you is that Claudia has a pretty good sense of what works and what doesn't, and pretty good sense of where the commission is likely to come out on something. So if you follow the lead, pretty much, then that's probably the best idea.
Okay. Well, that was why we were here,
Okay.
to discuss the different options, we thought, for doing that. Okay.
I mean, I'll give you my comment, whether the rest of the commission wants to hear them or not. I'm not opposed at all to the in lieu fee, and I would hope we'd take some of the principles of that other thing that's been been floating around the city of Emeryville for 3 years and look and see if we could apply any of those principles here. Is that good
The
direction?
unnamed thing,
What is that?
Park Street Overlay District.
I love you, Claudia. You remember it.
Hey, it's great.
Which that was dealing with lot line to lot line buildings and how we could do things and say, geez, you know, if you do things that we want to do for amenities to the building, et cetera, you know, we'll try to do things, including the in lieu fee, and see how we can do things.
Right.
You know, so I'm not at all opposed to the in lieu fee, and I think
I don't think any of us are.
I'm a big fan of the in lieu fee. I think that
Okay.
we're going to need
Great.
subsidized public parking at some point, and that's
Exactly.
one of the ways that we're going to finance it.
Because at this point right now, if that's not a possibility, this project is gone, basically.
Yeah.
So good. We will work with that then. Thank you.
Okay.
If the in lieu fee contributes $100,000 toward the kitty and gets the city moving in the direction of creating an off-street parking assessment district that supports underparked projects like this, and if there's not strong opposition from all the neighboring businesses, then I would go for it. But if either of those two is not the case, then I'd be very concerned about it. And I know that there are a number of developments in town that have demolished considerable square footage of building in order to create parking.
Right.
And lot line to lot line buildings sometimes require that.
Okay.
You understand one thing, though, you will not get a parking waiver, okay?
Oh, understand. We did understand that. We were just under the impression we could somehow come up with some alternative.
Right.
But the in lieu fees, great. We'll work
Okay.
with that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right, I know everybody's wanting to get out. I just wanted to mention a couple things.